Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's Link to the Past Randomizer Daily Race. And let me just take care of one thing on my end real quick. We've got ourselves a big one here tonight, a standard race. So it'll be a fun, quick night tonight. Of course, I'm the Shades. Joining me is my co-commentator, the dancing dad himself, Wolfman 2000. Wolfman, how you doing?
I don't know what to say about that, except I'm already concerned that our runners are trying to get going, so you know what to do.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We are getting the signal. So, ladies and gentlemen of Hyrule, I have one question for you at this time. Are you ready for some random?
Oh, I have missed that. Anyway, GFE 12, Ryrek, New York Rambler, NY Rambler, and Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna. Those four are ready. All the others are ready. I'm sure all the rest of you folks at home are definitely ready after hearing that. So why don't we get... So let's get started with this standard mode race, shall we?
Indeed. And here we go!
Okay, Cranky Kong, if you say so.
Let's see, we start things off here. Not too early start. Our custom sprites for tonight, we've got Ness on GFE, Rywek walking Minish Cap Link, New York Rambler rocking good old Homer Simpson. Dope! And of course, Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna, his favorite, the good old Goomba.
Nothing wrong with classics, one way or the other. Now, for those that
Absolutely.
are wondering, why is it rainy, and why are we heading to the sewers, this is part of the standard mode settings. We have to go through the escape sequence as if this was the vanilla game, where...
Oh! Starting off with the bow. That is an interesting start, to say the least.
What? And flippers?
Flippers and bow in the first within the first three chests. Wow. This is going to be an interesting seed, to say the least. This also means that our runners are going to have to be very careful, because this means that their only available source of attack is a limited ammo weapon. So they're going to have to be very careful on how they use their arrows going into the...
Furthermore, the only quick source of money once the escape is done has kind of been taken away right now. Some runners may like to use what's known as the Houlihan strategy in order to get a quick 225 rupees, but well, with the flippers, the primary avenue is kind of gone.
In a sense, yes, but they do still have some ways to access the Houlihan room. It just will be a little trickier. The big problem is they are going to need access to the graveyard. So once they get like something like power gloves, then they can start looking into that option. So we'll see if that becomes necessary by the time they get a cat.
Very well. We already saw a small key from the first chest of the front of escape, so let's see if we get anything good on the rest of the way.
Well, there's a piece of heart. To answer question in chat, the Houlihan rune, for those who don't know, is a secret debug room that occurs if you basically go into a hole in a way that wasn't exactly intended. You know, normally the way they do is they jump in the lake a few times, go into a cave, jump into the lake a few times, and then fall down in the hole near on the opposite side of the graveyard from the sanctuary. However, with the flippers, that option is not available. The other option is you can bomb yourself into a hole, and because of the way it kind of throws you out of its original setup, that usually will cause you to go into the Houlihan room.
Well, okay, we don't need to worry about money as much now. 300 rupees in Zelda's cell.
That takes care of that problem. We probably won't be seeing a Houlihan run here tonight, so that'll come in handy. Now, with standard mode, because they do not have a lamp for the escape sequence in and of itself, they will have a lamp going into the dark sewers. However, that lamp will not be available until in the other dungeons until they actually acquire one. So they will have, just bear that in mind. They won't be able to light any torches right now, but they will be able to see, because, well, otherwise, logically, this game would be broken.
Or, at the very least, extremely difficult for those that are new to the randomizer. And we want to at least be as informative as we can for all the new folks that happen to be watching here today.
Absolutely. So all of our runners here now heading up to the front. Looks like New York Rambler's got actually no, GFE's got a slight lead here, but again, this is very early on, and if people, this way too early to call a good lead yet. This is just, the early hits.
Very early, but who knows what's gonna happen? Right now, we are seeing at least GFE being the first to enter the back of escape proper. Just watch out for the rats. There you go. But
Watch
also,
out for the rat. Sorry, guys.
Note the arrow count coming in. Ryrek had to spend a lot of arrows coming down here, so ammunition is important.
Especially since there are some enemies here you have to kill, because they one enemy in particular will drop a key, and nothing there in the Dark Cross, so that's going to get busted. But thankfully, all 4 of our runners have a good complement of bombs. You want at least 1 bomb going into the back end of escape, since there is those 3 chests back there, and you don't want to leave that behind if you can help it. Thankfully, that does not appear to be a problem for any of our runners tonight. Answer question chat. The reason, as I was just explaining, because this is standard mode, for this part of the escape sequence, they guarantee you at least a lamp light, but that will be gone after this is done. They have to actually get a lamp before they can get it. Oh, GFE went back because, hey, there's some free magic. Want that? Let's see what our chest has here. Well, there's our arrows refilled, but otherwise, not much else. Escape, in and of itself, not really paying out much, though. Those 300 rupees will come in handy for the Kakariko run.
That, plus there is 1 more item guaranteed once we get to Sanctuary. So here's hoping we get something good.
Yep, because we've already found the map and the small key, so this last chest here in the Sanctuary will be an item. Will it be the saving grace of the escape?
Or will it just be chump change?
Chump change, just a little bit of love.
We're actually pricing pieces of heart now?
For these guys, it would be. But nonetheless, GFE gonna be the first of our runners to break out of the escape sequence. Scruff Ninja Tuna right behind. We got our map check here. I saw Crystal 5 at Tower of Hera, and I think I saw crystals at both. Yep, crystals at both Desert and no, Crystal 5 at Hera, regular crystals at Eastern and Desert.
I also confirmed that the specific numbers, the only numbers that our runners will care about are crystals 5 and 6. Because those are the 2 that, once you collect them, access another item location later. Oh, nice. Bomb-dropping crabs.
That's always a nice thing. We're going to get a couple big checks here. We're going to see not much. Lumberjack doesn't appear to be a problem here, but the Mushroom Spot is also a bust. So, Lost Woods not paying out much here at all.
Nope, Lost Woods right now filled with munitions and nothing else.
So that the majority of our runners are going to now make their way into Kakariko Village. And this is where the big item plays come in. This early on in the race, Sphere 0, Kakariko Village is your motherlode, because there are tons of item locations in Kakariko Village. So if you're going to find some early big items, this is usually the place to do it. But considering you've already found bow and flippers, it may not be as lucrative. But I've been proven wrong before. Let's see how tonight fares.
Well, we have 13 chests that we have access to. Well, 13 items, I should say, because the bottle vendor does have one of our items.
Indeed. Oh, we got Power Glove right out the gate there. That's not too bad.
We will definitely take a Power Glove. In the meantime, GFE has already warped over to where the Ice Rod Cave is, taking a different strategy. And, Bombo's in the back.
Yep, Bombo's in the back. So we got that is a very unique play. Normally you'd see the dam and the South Shore in general, Brad, but I don't think he didn't even do that. He just went straight for the Ice Rod Cave. Guess he just wanted to get that out of the way early, and it paid off because he just found the Moon Pearl.
And now we have... Oh, and now Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna just found a shovel that Ryrek and NY Rambler just pulled out as well. Alright, so... What else are we going to find here?
How about a blue mail on top of that, and some more money?
Well, I think we've resolved most of our money problems this seed.
Yeah, we've already got Zora money here coming out of Kakariko Village. That is insane to see this early on. And considering we've already got flippers, Zora is completely in logic. I would be shocked if we do not see a Zora play early on in this run.
Well, we are visiting the camper right now on GFE's side, while the Kuko House only has another piece of heart.
Yeah. Hobo didn't pay out much either, so unfortunately we're quickly running out of locations. But again, we've already got a decent start. We've got Bow, we've got Power Glove, we've got Flippers, we got Moon Pearl. And then that shovel, they're going to be probably routing in the shovel spot. Like most of our runners, like everyone except GFE is going to route the shovel spot into their South Shore check. Because it's right there.
I had missed what was on Lake Hylia Island. I didn't get a good view on GFE's side. I'm waiting to see if chat caught anything. Oh! Bottle on the top of the library.
Yeah, that could come in handy there. Not much in the Waterfall of Wishing, unfortunately, but he is going to go ahead and... Now, GFE making a big mistake here because he is going to Zora without going to Kakariko. He's not going to have enough money for this, and that could come back to bite him, but he finds Red Rang over on the Zora ledge. He is not going to go for...
Well, there are some tricks that allow you to get to the Zora ledge without the flippers, but they often involve...
Titan's Mitts from the shovel spot! We have Dark World. As soon as these guys get that Moon Pearl, they're going to have Dark World access in just under 15 minutes.
Oh my goodness!
What is going on with this scene?
I don't know, but right now GFE is hopefully smelling some more loot in the mini Moldorm cave, has the arrows to pull this off, and now we have more of a divergence. NY Rambler and Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna going to the reservoir to drain the waters, while Ryrak is going to visit Sahasrara.
Yeah, we got 300 rupees from the chest in the dam. So let's see what the mini Moldorm cave's got for us here. Does not look like it's got much, just some more munitions. So that's a bust. Let's see. Sarasala says Green Pendant in Skull Wood.
And as far as the back of Sahasrara, well, okay, we have plenty of safeties. That's the red mail.
Yeah, that's full defense right out the gate. My God, this seed just wants us to stay safe.
Well, considering I am dance dead, I think I actually have to learn the safety dance at one point, considering our runners have done so already.
That is the best joke I've heard in a long time, my friend. And Rywek now I gotta head into Eastern Palace to start things off here on this run.
So Eastern Palace today will have 3 items. We don't know if that 3rd item will be on the Armos Knights, but if we are willing to potentially sequence break a little bit since we don't have a fire source, it may not matter.
Yeah, they do not have the lamp, which means a lot of this dungeon is out of logic. The big key chest and the back of the Eastern are out of logic since we do not have the lamp. However, most runners that I know can usually do Dark Room Easterns without a lamp, so that might not be an issue. We might be seeing some full clears here in this run.
Indeed. Apparently we had missed the desert ledge while watching the Eastern Palace
I did not. It was nothing.
Okay, thank you. However, we are seeing Agina's cave while Ryrek clears another chest in Eastern and says no thanks.
That's 2 items so far. That's 4 300 ruby drops I've seen so far this seed.
Aren't there like 6 or 7 of them?
In this new version, yeah, because a lot of the drops, a lot of the bomb upgrades and arrow upgrades have been removed since they are now available at the Wishing Well at Lake Hylia. you can now just buy them outright from the ferry there. So a lot of those have been replaced with more rupee drops. And there's the big key for Rywek, as everyone else is now covering locations we've already seen.
And sorry, Ryrek, but while the previous version had hints defaulted to on, they have been turned off by default now.
That would explain why a lot of runs don't use them anymore. Now we can actually see what the big fish has in store. Will it be life lesson, love lesson, or value? Given we haven't found much this seed, I wouldn't put it past them to find something big here. Because we haven't not found much this seed.
Moon Pearl plus Titan's Mitts, I think that's a little bit, that's quite a bit more on the much side.
Oh, I'm talking quantity more than quality. Absolutely, we found some really good items. We haven't found that many. Oh, Kane O'Brien. That's not too...
It's not a life lesson, not a love lesson, and I wouldn't say it's worth necessarily. What do you call that?
Something. It's something.
Alright, big key chest for Ryrek, and
that's a bust.
yeah, I unfortunately missed the first chest, so...
It was just money, so that's all the items. I think it's Compass left on Armos Knight, so... the only reason they're going to go back there is it's a crystal dungeon.
It is a crystal dungeon, and thus we do need to take it out eventually. We are playing with the traditional rules where you need 7 crystals to get into Ganon's tower at the end, and then take out Aghanim at the top of Ganon's tower, fall down to the pyramid, and kick some Gerudo butt.
Absolutely. Scruff Ninja Tuna now picking up his Kane O'Brien.
While NY Rambler is about to head to Eastern Palace and GFE about to receive some of the goods that were missed.
Be happy he found this, because he knows that, because we know that power glove's waiting for him here in this room. Rywek having a little bit of trouble here in Eastern. He's gonna go back and heal up at the fairy room in the big old fairy pot that he got.
Nothing wrong with safeties. Anytime you feel a little overwhelmed, nothing wrong with slowing down a little bit. Yes, I know we're on speed gaming, but we want our runners to be successful here.
Yes. Speed does not mean inefficiency. It means, you know, being as effective as possible to get through as quickly as possible. And sometimes you gotta take a minute and make sure you don't die, because dying would be slower. Hence why we wouldn't do that. Got our first look at the Dark World here on Scruff Ninja Tuna's side. Looks like Crystal 6 at Swamp, Blue Pendant at Turtle Rock, and I think it was Red Pendant at Ice.
I confirm. Alright, GFE is about to have what some have been calling the Infinity Gauntlet, but in-game is called the Titan's Mitts. While Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna having some fun at the treasure chest game and just getting more munitions.
Yep. He's gonna be working on the Village of Outcasts as Rywek now makes his way to the Armos Knights.
Yep, time.
We know he's not gonna hit anything.
Yeah, but we still have to take out the 6 of them, or, well, you can count down easily. You know how this goes.
Oh yeah, goodbye. There's the compass as I called. But that is crystal number 1 for Rywek. 17 minutes into our run. You see the C-shaped house here from Scruff Ninja Tuna. Brewery did not pay out, but the Sea House did. We've got a fighter sword.
So now we are properly armed and dangerous to take care of Hyrule.
He's gonna go ahead and open up and check out Thieves Town. To be fair, we've pretty much cleaned out all of the light world that we can access right now. Early big key there. So going to the dark world would be the right call, as GFE is going to start their run over in Skull Woods. Now, this is a pendant dungeon, so he's mainly coming here for items, but bear in mind that Skull Woods is the green pendant, So that could be another potential item location later on down the line if it becomes necessary.
Sorry, I just had to send a quick message over. Compass in Skullwoods, but there's still a few more checks available in the front half.
Indeed, there's 2 items in Skullwoods. There's number 1, which isn't much of anything, unfortunately. Oh, but we got Mirror over in Thieves Town. Scruff Ninja Tuna gonna be happy to see that this early on.
And the pinball room in Skullwoods, small key, not completely surprised, but fair warning to those that wish to try out the randomizer for the first time. That chest is no longer guaranteed to have a small key, so if it doesn't have a small key, you may be expected to save and quit.
So right now our main eyes are on GFE and Scruff because they are the ones completing new locations here. But it looks like GFE will probably be the next one to check a chest because he's about to finish up here. Gotta watch out for those wall masters. They can really mess up your day. Grabbing you at just the worst timing.
Alright, the harmful hallway has been cleared by Mr. Scruff. As NY Rambler gets up to the top floor of Eastern.
Indeed, GFE finds the big key in Skull Woods. Not going to be too useful just yet, but he could bomb jump across to check the big chest, which is probably what he's going to end up doing. As Scruff heads up to the skylight here in Thieves Town, finds the compass.
Now is going to break apart the skylight, or at least part of the floor for the skylight.
Now, there is one inherent gamble that Scruff is making here going into Thieves Town. Because he does not have the hammer, he cannot check the big chest here in Thieves Town. And if that has an item, that could be a problem later.
I believe our item count is at 3 at this point out of 4.
Which means at this point it's actually guaranteed there's an item in the big chest. It's a matter of if it's a progression item or not.
Now, I may have miscounted. I know we saw a compass earlier.
Yeah, I've been keeping track. I actually have my own tracker up to keep track of this stuff, so I can confirm it is just 3 chests remaining.
Alright, thank you for that.
That's why I do it. Okay, we also saw a look at Bumper Cave, which had absolutely nothing in it. So probably not going to be seeing that played here tonight.
Alright, GFE is about to be armed with a sword, while Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna is about to learn that the maiden, well, is just a big punster. What do you got for us today?
Oh, I hate insect puns. They really bug me.
Yuck, 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 yuck.
Actually, I need the horn. I need Sans' horn from Undertale. Rup, rup, rup.
I didn't know Sans had his own horn, but it looks like Blind will no longer be tooting theirs. They're down.
Yep. And only dropped. So that means there's 1 item left in Thieves Town. We'll just have to hope for now that that is not an essential item.
Alright, Rywak has just loaded up at Waterfall of the Wishing, and looks like they will be receiving that blue cane very soon.
Indeed. So let's see. Scruff's gonna head down into the lower end here. Probably, I don't know. Let's see. Is he gonna pick up the? Nope, he's not gonna pick up Jeremiah just yet. He wants to head over to the digging game first. See what good old Alec Baldwin's got.
I've typically been calling this fella Dompe, partially because, well, Dompe likes to deal with digging, even if it's not necessarily a graveyard over here.
I get the feeling that they ever remastered this game to make it look kind of like Link Between Worlds. That's what they would do, is make him look like Dompe. And we got a shield out of it, but Scruff says, no thanks, I don't need the...
Yeah, and for the record, yes, chat, we did see someone else go up there to pick up the cane of Burna. Though I had missed whether Ryrek actually picked it up or not.
Not 100% sure, but I'm sure our trackers are keeping an eye on it. Now Scruff's going to go on the chain. Now, since he's already done Thieves Town, he can just go right over here. This is the good thing. He does not have to take the frog on a world tour. Also, if you're wondering why I call the frog Jeremiah, well, it's very simple. Jeremiah was the bullfrog. And indeed, he was a good friend of mine.
It's
what
all
just
good,
happened?
Shades. We were prepped.
Ah. All right, folks. We're going to restart the stream real quick. So don't worry, folks. We're not.
So why don't you at least explain why the gnome, the frog term gnome, is called Jeremiah while we're getting things adjusted? There we go.
There we go. We're getting it back up here. We're slowly but surely getting things back up to speed, folks. Just had some minor technical issues. We can at least get back to commentating the race now. As Scruff has already picked up the purple chest, so we don't know what the swordsmiths had on hand.
Well,
We'll have to find out about that later, though. GFE will probably check that very soon.
Indeed. We also missed what Stumpy had, but again, we will get that shortly. Alright, we are about to pay 10 rupees to receive what the smiths have for us today.
Oh, ether! That's actually pretty good.
Alright, Mr. Scruff also has ether then. Now, I'm more curious about where that hammer is, because that would kind of help with some navigation and, Dark World dungeon exploration.
Absolutely. Let's do this. Nope, not much there from the chest.
Alright, Ryrek is about to get a sword, while NY Rambler is about to go to Thieves Town, where there are a number of good things.
Absolutely. And I think Scruff is going to actually go an early run into Swamp Palace. Again, bit of a gamble, no hook shot. So if he doesn't find one in there, he's not going to be able to full clear it, but it might still be worth.
The bigger issue is no hammer. Without the hammer, there's only one check available.
That's a very good point. It's a bit of a gamble there, and not like we now confirm not much on old Stumpy here. So he's going for broke on this one. I don't really think this is a good gamble to make here, to be honest, because without being able to get into the dungeon, you're going to be missing out a lot and have to double dip this. But then again, I've seen crazier things happen in these seeds.
I've once called a plando race, or a planned randomizer race, where ironically in this wall right here a hammer was placed, but that was placed by the game.
Oh, the randomizer can be quite the beast sometimes. Nope, big key, he's out. I suspect the next stop for both of our runners is going to be the good old Hyper Great Cave. So we have not seen that play yet. That's 5 potential items in there. You don't want to pass that. Given that we're still looking for quite a few good items here, I would not be surprised if we at least get something out of this.
Well, it will have some type of value. The question is it the value we seek? 5 items.
Well, not a good start so far, but let's see what we got here on the back.
Piece of heart, 25 arrows,
trash
75.
cave.
Ugh.
Total trash cave.
That's not what we're looking for. Wait a second. GFE is also gambling that second chest in Swamp?
I think because it's right there, you might as well just run by. You know, they're already going that way anyway with the purple chest. You might as well just go ahead and check it and just see if by chance there's something there. It's not again, it's not the greatest of gambles, but the more I think about it, the more I realize, wait, it's right there. Why wouldn't you just stop and check it, just to make sure the game doesn't decide to troll you?
Fair enough. By the way, for those that are new to this randomizer, note the path that Mr. Scruff had taken. If you want to get to the pyramid but don't have a hammer, and you do have flippers, then simply jump near Dark Lake Hylia, swim around, and you are there.
And I'm going to guess there wasn't anything at Lake Hylian, because otherwise Scruff would have gone and picked it up since he's right there. But instead, he's heading over to the pyramid to see what else is going on over here. We've actually gotten quite a few of the checks taken care of in logic. I'm looking at 3 locations left that we can check. So we're going to find something here in the next few items. I'm almost certain of it.
Like that?
And that would probably help. Yeah, that'll do it. Das Boots! What are those?
What those are, for those that don't know, that is an item that you use with the A button instead of your traditional inventory buttons. Basically, hold A, move fast. Watch out for solid walls, you will bonk back.
Those are the Pegasus boots in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen.
I am now very curious as to where that hammer is.
We've got a couple more checks opened up now. We've got, we've now got King's Tomb opened up. Bonk Cave is opened up. So that opens up a couple more spots. Not much, but so that means we're probably going to find something again very soon. Catfish is next up. Let's see what Catfish is hiding here tonight. Hopefully it's something good.
While GFE is about to get the Pegasus boots, and NY Rambler pulls off another blind kill.
And that's our second shield upgrade there for Scruff. But he again says, no thanks, I don't want the lag. So he's going to reset back to the Sanctuary, which is probably a good call. He's going to have to come back later to check the Graveyard Ledge, but he can check King's Tomb out and then come back around and check the Bonk Cave. So he's not missing out on too much. But given that we're really running out of locations, he's going to have to hope he finds something without having to go all the way around.
Remember, there's still that bottle on the library.
Oh, that might help. Someone call my buddy Phantom Ryu, because that's gotta be Kane! That's gotta be Kane!
Not to dampen your enthusiasm, Shades, but I feel it should be mentioned that while it is nice to have the Cane of Samaria for when we take care of Misery Mire, that doesn't help us with immediate progression.
You are correct on that. I won't argue that, but still, had to have that moment there. But that might be a little sign there. We got Mushroom from the Bonk Cave. That's one more possible progression. Got one more location opened up. We're getting drip fed potential here. Like, the progression is very slow. But I think Scruff is taking your cue from earlier. That bottle is calling to him because he's going straight for the library. He thinks Sick Kid's got something.
It's entirely possible. While GFE is thinking that Kiki is guarding something in the Palace of Darkness.
Not a bad call. Not a bad call. Won't be able to get everything because we don't have the hammer, but with the bow, we can check quite a bit without being out of logic. The problem is once again, that lamp is still out there.
Makes sense to go through Eastern first. Makes sense.
Yep, get that out of the way, especially since everyone else has already done it. What has Sick Kid got for us tonight? Let's see what he's got.
No. The bottle of blue potion's nice to have. That's a full health and magic refill, and oh, I think I know what Mr. Scruff is possibly thinking of doing.
Ah, I see, says the blind man to his deaf wife over the telephone.
So,
yep.
What's going on is, Mr. Scruff is intentionally spending some magic so that we can have a second use for that mushroom. An unofficial use, it is a sequence break, but it's a minor glitch, we allow it. So basically, that mushroom can be used in conjunction with the Cane of Samaria, where if we don't have enough magic to actually cast a block, but we swap to the mushroom on that same frame by pausing, we can kind of sort of trick the game somehow.
It acts like it's the magic powder, which is what you're supposed to use to activate the magic bat. So like I said, the minor sequence break, but as you can see, it works just perfectly here. This is why we use Japanese version 1.0 for this. Will it pay off for him? Nope.
Well, it technically paid him.
Paid, didn't pay off.
Fair point.
There is a difference. Meanwhile,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, Rywick is over in what me and my buddy Dr. Bob Tastic like to call the Mullet Mansion. Why do I call it that? Well, it's very simple, my friends. When it comes to Palace of Darkness, most of the keys tend to be situated towards the front of the dungeon, while most of the items that you're looking for tend to be hiding out in the back. So, like any good mullet, it's business in the front, party in the back.
I don't know if I would ever look good in a mullet.
Neither would I. Don't feel bad, neither would I. Then again, the way my hair works, I couldn't get a mullet if I tried.
Alright, first chest did have that big key, as NY Rambler now gets the Pegasus boot, so we were required to come here with the bow. So we have at least that going for us.
That is very true.
So I expect at least one, if not two, small keys on this portion right here.
Indeed, and Scruff now going to head over to that graveyard cave I mentioned before to see what's over there. Like I said, this is probably the last overworld location you can check aside from the mushroom spot. So we'll have to see if this pays out or if it's dungeon diving you have to do.
Again, this is by logic. And yeah, it is either Witch's Hut, Pod, or Ice Palace.
Yeah, Ice Palace is technically in logic since we, at least somewhat, since we do have the Bombos medallion. So if the mushroom doesn't have anything, it is dungeon
Why do I feel awkward about Ice Palace having our next piece of progression? Oh well, if that's what we have to do, that's what we have to do. Mr. Scruff is hoping that it is at the potion shop, while GFE is delivering his own form of pain to the Armos Knights, and NY Rambler has just picked up the Cane of Samaria. Oh, that's a rude location for that flute. Just very rude.
Sorry about that, folks. Had a little bit of a connection issue there.
You just missed the music-making instrument at Potion Shop.
Well, so that paid off big there for Scruff.
It is technically progression because it can get us to Misery Mire, though we don't know what we need to enter the place yet.
Not just Misery Mire. Bear in mind that also now opens up at least a couple spots in Death Mountain as well. So that might lead to something, but we're going to wait on that and see if we find something here in Pod. Also, shout out to the 119 people joining us here for Speed Gaming 3. Thank you for joining us. Hope you guys enjoy the race.
And as Mr. Scruff now gets some armor, Ryrek is about to... Well, okay, there's our medallion coverage taken care of. That's Quake.
Yeah, that's all three medallions now spoken for, so that means guaranteed.
And I'm forced to stop you because it's hammer time.
Oh, did we find Hammer? Oh!
It was in the harmless hallway.
Now that's what we call progression. And one other thing I've always said is the trolliest thing a randomizer can do is to put an item in its vanilla location. That is French vanilla if I've ever seen it.
You should see some of the platformer randomizers where, while World Order can be randomized, sometimes it's just not. By the way, Bugnet was in one of the chests as well in Pod.
I'm just paying off big time there, isn't it?
So
They're
looking,
just lamp. Sorry, guys.
yeah, looking at what we need as far as progression goes, we need the lantern, but that's potentially optional. That's going to depend on if we need a fire source for any other reason. But otherwise, I think all we're missing is the hook shot.
Yeah, we need a fire source, so we need fire rod for sure. Lamp would be helpful as well for dark rooms, and then I think given some of the dark rooms we're dealing with, it'd probably be nice to have that. But yeah, other than that, hook shot's the only required item we need. We don't need ice rods since Turtle Rock is not required unless it's hiding something, but the odds of that are simple. The other thing we need, let's not forget, we need Master Sword. We are still on Fighter Sword. You cannot beat Ganon on Fighter Sword. It is impossible. And to answer your question, chat, yes, this is live. We are running this as we speak. All 4 of our runners are on their separate Twitch pages. In fact, if you actually enjoy our runners, be sure to give them a follow on Twitch. GFE, Rywek, New York Rambler, and Mr. Scrub Ninja Tuna, so you can show some love for them. But yes, they are running this live, and we are providing live commentary, so hope you're...
And let's not forget about to give some support to the Shades over here. Along with today, we actually have 3 trackers keeping up with things. Drake Tempest, Billy Mills 111, and Asaclism. Thank you all for the unsung hero work.
Absolutely.
Alright. NY Rambler didn't like Graveyard Ledge, but then again, I don't think anyone really did.
No, Graveyard Ledge kind of was a bust there, wasn't it? Once everyone else starts turning in those mushrooms, they're going to be very happy to see that flute. They do need that since Misery Mire is a crystal dungeon, so they will need to get that flute activated at some point.
Oh, nice spin attack by Mr. Scruff, as GFE is going to follow in Rywek's footsteps and enter the turtle rooms in the dark.
It's a bit of a tricky situation, considering it's not the hardest, but it is one of the trickier dark rooms in the game. But once you get in there, it can pay off, as Rywek is now taking on the Helmasar.
Ah, yes, the Helmasar King. 2 phases. First, take off the mask, and then destroy the jewel.
Considering they have a fighter sword, you're probably going to be seeing a lot of bow strats with this, because the bow can do slightly more damage. Though, if they had silver arrows, they'd be happy as little kids in a candy shop, because that's one shot with the silver arrows. But Rywek does a really good job there. Takes out the Helmasar King with very little trouble.
Alright, was there another reward? Nope, just a compass.
So that's a full clear for Pod. But with that hammer in tow, a lot has just opened up. Once these guys get that flute and head up to Death Mountain, not only now do we have Spectacle Rock in play, but we also have most of East Death Mountain in play. And that's... Let's see, I believe that's about 7 items in play there.
There's
Plus,
a lot
they can
more.
I was about to say, there is more, because then they can also go to the dark side of Death Mountain. And there's 7 more items, actually 8, because we've got Spike Cave in play as well. We are in logic for Spike Cave.
I think the math may be slightly confusing here, so let's at least go over it just by logical checks. We're talking 2 guaranteed items on Spectacle Rock, 7 inside Paradox Cave, 1 in Spiral Cave, 1 in Spike Cave, 2 in Super Bunny, only 1 accessible in Hookshot right now, and 1 on the floating island.
Ah, fair point. I forgot we don't have the hook shot yet.
But yeah, that is a huge number of things we can get with just the logical stuff we have now.
And if in all those checks the hook shot is amongst them, that's going to open up 3 more items in the hook shot cave. So yeah. Then again, so we definitely want to hope we can find that along.
Now, of course, it's entirely possible that the hookshot is probably buried somewhere in the Misery Mire area, where we have access to the Mire Shed and Checkerboard Cave. Or it may be in Desert Palace. We have the mirror to access Desert that way. We just don't have a fire source to finish the place.
So many places to go. Where do we start?
Well, at the very least, GFE is glad to be done with Palace of Darkness. Rywak is... don't know if they're gonna be happy to get the shield. And why Rambler definitely happy to get that flute. And Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna is soon going to be happy to some extent upon getting that hammer.
Yeah, and normally, considering we've got all the amount of items we have, this is where I would say we've almost hit the wall. We still have Death Mountain to check out, and I think there might be something there, but if we don't find much up there, we're going to end up hitting the wall. And what I call the wall is the point in a randomizer race where items just tend to dry up. You know, sometimes you get lucky and you never have to hit the wall. Most races, you're going to reach a point where you're just going to be looking everywhere and finding nothing.
Yeah, I don't think Mr. Scruff was that happy to find that hammer.
It's like, oh, crud, now I can actually finish this dungeon now.
Or we could come back once we have the lantern, but perhaps we should at least explain a little bit since we've talked a bit about the logic here. So, this randomizer is programmed so that no matter what skill set you are, no matter how you approach it, there is always a logical chain to actually finish the game and see the credits at the end. There are sometimes some tricks and some items you can utilize and skip in order to avoid some of the nastier locations or just otherwise save some time. The lantern for darkroom navigation is considered a valid sequence break, but some runners may not care about that. However,
real quick, if I may interrupt you real fast, I do have to make a bit of mention. For New York Rambler, I have to say that the goose is loot! Also, shout out to Speed Gaming 2, who just rated us with another 43 viewers. Thank you for joining us, folks. Anyway, Wolfman, sorry to interrupt. You may continue.
It's okay. I was gonna wait until Mr. Scruff covered that, because right now we have their audio.
I do think that's how it is. Anyway.
Alright, NY Rambler finding the single arrow of destiny in the Meyer shed.
The good old final arrow, as I like to call it.
And yeah, I did not get a good look at that medallion on Misery Meyer either.
But to be fair, considering we know where all three medallions are, does it really matter at this point? We know they're going to be able to get...
Well, as long as we remember where Quake is. Oh!
Oh, who wants some literacy? We've got Book of Medora over in the Checkerboard Cave.
Now, right now, that book will only tell us about 3 locations. Not that we can get them yet. We are still missing an upgraded sword for 2 of them, and 3 pendants for the 3rd.
Let's hope we don't have to go to that 3rd option. This late in the game, with this many items we've already got, not something you want to be dealing with.
I'm actually double checking the pendant crystal requirements right now. I think the hook shot could be on that pedestal.
That's literally it, though. If we find the hook shot at any point, Pet is dead. Ooh, it's a good thing we got those Pegasus boots when we did, because Desert is boot.
Well, with that big key, we can immediately get that big chest.
Hey, there's our Master Sword. We will take that.
Alright, now we can go for the other 2 tablet checks. And wow, it's like not exactly exact sync for Rywak and GFE, but those 2 are having an unofficial race in Thievestown right now. Whereas I don't see where Mr. Scruff is. the just left the turtle room and is now with the Helmasaur King.
Gotta love it. So, New York Rambler style now working on the back end, right end of desert. Had to be the small key in that one chest, because otherwise he'd have to steal a key, and that would cause some trouble. But he finds
Alright, and we also have confirmation from chat the only way the hookshot could be on that Master Sword pedestal is if Ice Palace cooperates, and I use air quotes with that for key lodging.
Absolutely.
And
it was Ether, which he does, everyone has at this point, so that is openable, and he's gonna check that out. Now, this is not entirely technically full clearable, but it's close enough that it's worth checking out.
well, we have Canis Samaria, we have boots to get across.
We don't have a fire source.
Right. So that does leave 2 chests unavailable. So that's gonna make things interesting. And for the record, the Pegasus boots is one logical possibility. Oh! GFE just went to check out other chest in Thieves Town. It was just a heart container, so no double dipping required.
Still, that's going to weigh on Scruff's mind later on. If he doesn't end up finding anything, he might consider going. Everyone rise for your Link to Past National Anthem. Oh, and I forgot to say one thing last time.
The goose is definitely loose now. Which reminds me, we do have an Untitled Goose Game tournament here on the Speed Gaming Network, so you may want to catch it when the matches show up. It is the any % glitchless category. Alright, NY Rambler still going through Misery Mire. I haven't seen any key items yet.
Yeah, he's just activating switches. He knows he can't go into that other room because he knows he can't go up to get the items there, nor can he go down to get to the vanilla big key chest. So he's hoping there's something here, and there's not.
And without that boss key, or big key, there's only one more chest left.
We got half magic from the old man on the mountain.
Nice. In the meantime, GFE is going into MC Hammer's vault for munitions. And, okay, that big key placement is kind of nice. We have access to the big key, the big chest immediately, at least. And
oh, Lamp is on Spectacle Rock.
And I just saw a third sword inside a Spectacle Rock. Yeah, we're getting them.
Yeah, this mountain's kind of loaded right now, I think. All right.
And how about that big chest? Small
Nope.
key. That means one item, at least, is guaranteed fire locked. Oh, I appreciated the bomb jump opportunity, but unfortunately, it was a bit of a dud.
Yeah, good effort. Have some steak. Wait, is Rambler doing what I think he's doing?
Yep.
Oh my god, he's gonna go to Vich.
Alright, so basically what my Rambler is doing. Without the lantern, you have to get through 4, technically 5 dark rooms in 2, effectively, grid squares based off of how the internal map is set out. And these are among the most dangerous dark rooms to go through. You have to first place the Canis Samaria block on a switch that you cannot see. And then you have to later hit a crystal switch and navigate your way back down, and okay, we have a bail.
Yeah, I think he's gone far enough, but we are getting a Tower of Hera play. We've already found our first item right off the bat, which is a heart container. if we find the second item, we're going to find a key in this next chest. Big or small? Which way is he going?
Big.
He's going up! That is actually what you want to see, because you want to hope you can find the second item on the way up and have no reason to go into that basement.
Indeed, and plus, without that hook shot, we can't even do what's known as the Harapot clip in order to, jump up to the top. We have to go through legitimately.
Yeah, this he's not playing nice tonight, that's for sure. And yeah, to answer question, chat, lamp was found on top of Spectacle Rock. There's the small key. So he's gonna bomb jump across. This is the only way he can really get there.
Well, you could choose to go up another floor and then fall down, but the bomb jump is typically faster.
Absolutely, if you're good at it. Takes a little bit of practice. It's not that difficult, but it can take some practice to get it down right. Though, as you can see, Scruff definitely knows what he's doing, as he's heading on to good old Troll Norm. If you've played Link to the Past before, you know exactly why we call him Troll.
And in the meantime, as Ryrak gets half magic, Rambler sees the lamp and is probably going to see that sword.
Nicely done by Scruff. No trolling here tonight. Let's see if he drops the last item.
Yep.
Yes! That's may not be anything of value, but at least he doesn't have to go into the basement.
Now Ryrak sees the sword and lantern.
And for New York Rambler, that sword is is good old Cheeto sword. So he's gonna be happy with that, means that even if he has to do Silverless Ganon, he's gonna be in a much better position to do.
Indeed.
You see not much on the floating island, so we probably won't be worried about that. So what Scruff is going to do is going to head down into the spiral cave, probably head to the dark world, and then use the mirror to warp back and forth between the two so he can get everything he can. And thankfully, since he's got Pegasus boots, no resident sleepers tonight, we're going to blaze on through here like Sonic the Hedgehog. Gotta go fast.
Aw, dang it, I had a song prepped. Actually, no,
Sorry.
I didn't. It's okay, it's okay. No one wants to hear my bats singing.
Mine's only slightly better, don't feel too bad.
It's all good. Anyway, Ether tablet check on NY Rambler's side.
Ooh, this could be interesting if it's anything of value. Nope, never mind. Look at I said anything.
Alright, Mr. Scruff is thinking about Paradox Cave first.
Good call there. That's 5 items inside of there. Or no, 6.
7.
7. I'm getting my numbers mixed up here for a minute. What the?
It's okay. It's Light World, East Death Mountain, and Dark World, East Death Mountain are very similar beasts in that regard.
Yeah, I'm just getting my wires crossed is all. But nonetheless, 7 items up here. You definitely want to check this place out. But again, we're only missing like 2 essential items right now. You kind of expect we're not going to find much here, but you never know. This is a randomizer.
I mean, I count the hook shot as 1. What's the other?
Fire rod. They need a fire rod. Because even with a torch, or even with a lance, certain stuff can only be hit with a fire rod unless you're really good. So you want to get that fire.
I believe the Ganon's Tower logic accounts for that. If you don't have to go to right side, you don't need the fire rod.
Do you really want to take that chance?
I'm not saying we want to, I'm just saying the logic accounts for that.
Still, knowing these runners, they're going to want to feel more comfortable with a fire rod in tow before they come there and send themselves ready to go. And I'm a poet and they didn't even know it. Well, there's our hook shot. That's one. Wow! Wow!
So, yeah, fire rod and hook shot in Super Bunny. With that, I'm double checking it. Dang it, Shades. I think I've lost track of time here. Why don't you tell us?
Oh, absolutely, my friend. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, if you check your phones, your watches, your timekeeping devices at this time, you will find that Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna has officially entered Go Mode Time.
Oh, that explains it. My batteries are dead. Thank you for that. So, yeah, basically, go mode is when we have everything we need to finish the game, and so we can just rush through all the required spots, not even worry about picking up anything else. Just go.
Now, to be fair, Scruff may want to dig a little bit because he wants to find a sword. You'd rather not, if you're going to face the risk of a silverless Ganon, you want at least Tempered Sword. If he has to face the idea of a Master Sword silverless, he will, and I know Scruff can do it. But let's be honest with ourselves, do you really want to deal with that? For those who don't know, Ganon can only be defeated with the Master Sword, but you can only hit him with the Master Sword with spin slashes. You can't use normal sword slashes. That includes even if you did have silvers. But what's worse is if silverless is your only option, you can only hit him regardless of sword with spin slashes. And with Master Sword, I believe that's what, 24 slashes, I think?
Something like that. Now, here's some good news. There is a sword right here, and I want to believe that the big key, or the big chest, would have been quickly accessible, but I may have been mistaken. Also, Blue Boomerang has been found in the northern torch-locked room of Misery Mire.
I think Scruff is going to accept immediately that he just wants to speed run this, finish this race. He's going to risk Master Sword Silverless unless he finds the fourth sword upgrade in Ganon's Tower. We still have not accounted for that last sword upgrade, so it could be out there. And if he finds it in Ganon's Tower, that will make his life so much easier. Now, here's the thing. While the difference between Master Sword and Tempered Sword is extremely big, the difference in damage between Tempered Sword and Golden Sword, or as we like to call it, the Butter Sword, is not as big. So they're not going to be too desperate for a Butter Sword, but they are going to be hoping for at least Tempered going in. That or Silvers.
And as NY Rambler finishes a cutscene, Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna starts one.
Yeah, New York Rambler doing with what I like to call the worst cutscene in the game and gets a beat to Porter's troubles. I call it the worst cutscene, not the longest. All the wall-moving cutscenes are about the same amount of time, but the one in Misery Mire is the worst because you literally don't get to see anything. It's literally just watching the room shake for a minute. That's it.
Well, Mr. Scruff no longer has to see the land molus shake.
Yep, that is another crystal down. He is well on his way. He only has to do 2 more dungeons. He is on his way, and he's probably going to knock those out pretty quickly because he's going to go right to Misery Mire after this, as Rywek now gets his... Oh, he almost left that fire rod behind.
That would have been pain. Now, here's the thing. I'm noticing Rywek's inventory. I don't know if Rywek has gone to turn in that mushroom to get the flute yet.
I don't think he has, and that might cost him. No, I don't see a flute in his inventory. He has not gone there.
I did confirm a mirror sighting at least, and I think Rywek is considering a Swamp Palace dive just because of that.
He's got the means to full clear it. He won't, but this also means we will be able to see what's in there, so this could be...
That is true. Rywek is going to, if not full clear it, at least open the majority of the chests. Whereas, in Mr. Scruff's case, and, yeah, Mr. Scruff just has to go through and go. Meantime, NY Rambler using spin strategies against the small eyeballs, and then lets loose against the big one.
Pretty sound strategy there. Takes him out with very little effort. Lost a little bit of health there, but not too bad. But that's another crystal down for New York.
And now GFE is heading over to East Death Mountain. So we will see another runner receiving hookshot and fire rod. Now NY Rambler is going to finish off, no, not finishing off Desert yet, or no, thinking about it, there we go.
Make up your mind there, my friend.
And when you do make up your mind, watch out for the rocks on the other side. So this is why we mentioned that you need the hammer in order to get through Swamp Palace. Those, metal moles, or mega moles, or whatever you call them. You have to whack them down. So now I'm also curious here. We don't have to enter Ice Palace or Turtle Rock. Do you think one or both of them may have our fourth sword or the silver arrows?
It is a very high possibility because those two dungeons in particular, especially Turtle Rock, are pretty high density dungeons. Oh, there's our mirror shield for Ryrek. That's three shields found. Ice Palace has 3 items. Turtle Rock has, I believe, 5. So
that sounds about right.
Yeah, 5 items in Turtle Rock, 3 items in Ice Palace. There's a very good possibility that one of the last 2 quality of life items we need could be hiding out there. So they're probably hoping, at least Scruff and Rywek are probably at least hoping to find those quality of life items before they get to Ganon's tower, or at least before they get to Ganon himself. Because GFE and New York Rambler have the Tempered Sword, so they're good. Like, even if they have to do Silverless Ganon, they've got Tempered Sword, it's not going to be that hard. Most of these guys can do Silverless Ganon without too much trouble. But someone like, Rywek and Scruff, they may have to face the potential of Master Sword Silverless, the absolute worst. You don't want to do Master Sword Silverless if you can help it. It is a pain, as I talked about earlier.
Yeah, I mean, I've done Tempered Silverless before. I don't remember if I've actually done Master Silverless. Uh-oh. Note where Rambler is.
Oh, Rambler, what are you doing? He doesn't have the fire. He didn't go to Death Mountain because even though he's got the flute, he's gonna pay. He hasn't been to Pod. He needs to go to Pod. This is why I said earlier that the trolliest thing a randomizer can do is to put an item in its vanilla location, because you're not thinking about going to the vanilla location. You're thinking there's no way. You're thinking the odds of it being there are pretty slim. So you don't think to check that first, but most of the other runners kind of realized pretty quickly that it was guiding you to Pod.
I mean, once you eliminate all other possibilities, what is left, despite how improbable it may be, it must be that, or I know I butchered the Sherlock Holmes quote.
When all other possibilities are removed, whatever remains, however unlikely, must be the truth.
Thank you.
Yeah. Still not perfect, but that sounds a little bit better.
Yeah, GFE is also in Misery Mire, has everything necessary to finish the place. Alright, just so it is clear, Rywek is looking for the flute, while NY Rambler is looking for the hammer. Ooh, nice use of that potion there. We are now healed up and ready to take out Vitreous.
Yep, absolutely. Scruff using that bow, but he's going to be very careful here. He's going to actually hold on to the rest of his arrows. Once he gets to a certain amount, he needs to stop using the bow Because he needs to have enough arrows to take out the big eyeball, unless he thinks he can just go spin slash crazy on it. No, he's going to finish him off the hard way.
Alright, another check for NY Rambler, as Rarek is also taking out Argus right now.
Yeah, we're gonna see a lot of item checks here very quickly. We know there's nothing on Vitreous here, but Argus might have something.
We know the Freezor room only had a piece of heart, so we don't need to worry about that one.
I don't think he's found the big key yet.
And yeah, Vitreous didn't have anything because left side had the remaining items.
Yep. Oh, another blue potion for Rai. That's gonna be helpful.
Ah, so that's bottle number 3 found.
And shout out to everyone in Speed Gaming Maine, because we got another raid of Party of 60. Everyone's coming over here. Party at SG4, ladies and gentlemen. That's 3 raids we've had tonight. Welcome to the match. To answer a question in chat, we are doing a Links to Pass standard seed. So basically, had to do the escape sequence, but otherwise it's pretty much your basic kind of seed. But nonetheless...
Yeah, and the way this seed has worked out, we were front-loaded with many items, and then we just had to find the hammer close to its original location inside the Palace of Darkness, where everything else started to, open up.
Now it's Scruff's turn to go through Swamp Palaces. Rywek has now made the right call. He has got his flute. He is now in go mode. Actually, nope. Scratch that. Still doesn't have his mirror.
The mirror, I believe, was in Thieves Town. Wasn't it? Yeah. No, yeah. Rywek does have the mirror. Rywek's good.
Okay, yeah. You should have the mirror. Yeah, never mind. He's in go mode. I was correct. I was correct the first time. Speaking of flutes, New York Rambler just activated his flute finally. At least that's what I saw. Oh no, he just warped back to Kakariko. That's what he did, because he had to have the flute.
And as GFE is taking out Vitreous right now, Mr. Scruff just wants to be done with this place. Swamp Palace is one of the more infamous dungeons where if you want to get through it quickly, you can. But if you're ever missing an item, you have to consciously choose, what do you focus on?
Yeah, that left side swamp can be a real nightmare to set up everything. And that's not even including the possibility of accidentally flooding the key. So you want to hope you can go mode this. It's not, there's a couple of dungeons that are really good to go mode. And this one's kind of one of them.
And the only thing that Ice Palace had was a cape. Which, mind you, a cape could still be useful, just not for the progression we're seeking right now. And unfortunately for NY Rambler, the Bombos tablet doesn't have what we need either.
He needs to go to Pod. He doesn't want to go there because he thinks it's not going to be worth it, but we know that's where he needs to.
I think that's where he's going now. There's no other place. It's what we talked about earlier. Once you eliminate all the other possibilities, what's left has to be it.
One of the things I love about the randomizers, aside from pure execution, which all of our runners are pretty good at, the way the randomizer works best is depending on what routes you take, what gambles do you make, and which ones pay off.
Yeah, it's just... I often make the bad calls. The one time I had a good seed in standard mode, I squandered it because I got the Titan's Mitts in Paradox Cave and forgot to check Dark Death Mountain. it's, sometimes you are on autopilot for some of these checks and you don't always think about what you just get, and sometimes you have to think about all those different variables. What do you do when you get certain items? What do you do if you don't have what you need? But then what if you get them later and it's just... These four know what they're doing.
Absolutely. This, when it comes to the randomizer, it's about following the logic. The logic will very often give you an idea of where you need to go. It's not always perfect, and sometimes it will lead you astray, but very often, if you're reading the logic properly, it will tell you exactly where you need to go. It's like, sometimes it will literally tell you, you have these items, go to this location. It has what you're looking for.
Speaking of looking for stuff and having what we need, I believe Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna now has 7 crystals. Shades,
Absolutely.
I think you know what needs to happen.
Oh, indeed I do, my friend, and I always appreciate you letting me do this. So, ladies and gentlemen, there are 22 possible item locations inside of Ganon's Tower where that big key could be hiding. Get your guesses in chat, folks. Where do you think that big key is going to be? My favorite guess is girl number 13.
Whereas today, I'm going to play along as well and go for number 10, which, depending on routing, we may very well be in the same room. But first, a pit stop, and I like this play. We earlier talked about how arrow expansions have changed since recent versions. You now purchase them here from Venus at the Upgrade Cave. 100 rupees a pop gets you 5 arrows or bombs, unless you purchase the final one of that category, in which case it gives you 10.
Getting those extra arrows will come in handy. He's also going to pick up another couple blue potions. Make sure he's stocked up. He may not need them, but as I've always said, it's better to have it and not need it than need it and...
Indeed. Especially since right now we are assuming that Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna is going to go for the dreaded Master Sword Silverless Arrow Ganon strats.
The worst of the worst when it comes to Ganon fights. If you can at least get Temper Sword, you're happy. If you can get Silvers, you're happy. If you have to go Master Sword Silverless, you are in dread.
Unless, of course, you like to go for a lot of the glitch categories where sometimes you don't always have all the stuff. Alright, come on, NY Rambler. You are very close to that hammer. Just gotta go south.
He's good. He's got it. He'll be back on track before you know.
Well, takes it like a champ.
So at this point, I think Rambler probably knows he's way behind at this point.
Alright, final guesses will cease very soon once we see Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna enter Ganon's Tower and make a choice left or right. That's it.
All right, and here we go. I'll be the one to count us off here, count us down.
You get it.
I always like doing this part. All right, so let's see what we got here. Chest number 1, piece of heart. Chest number 2, ooh, got a little health out of that. Ooh, powder. But he's gonna go ahead and go back to the left side.
Well, at least we get powder for safety on the way up.
That's true. We can use this on the anti-fairies later on. Item number 3, no good there as well.
And so here's where we need to have the hammer at this point. Because we have to hammer those metal moles to get through to the Dark Magician room.
Indeed. Let's see. Number 4. Another piece of heart. Number 5. Nope. Number 6. Small key. Number 7. Another small key. Still no luck yet.
And so down we go. I always forget you can hookshot from that far to reach that bottom block.
I know, it doesn't feel like you should be able to go that far, but it works every time. Ooh, nice one. Oh, number 8! And Scruff has got to be on cloud 9, because that means the end of Master Sword Silverless for Scruff.
Oh, it feels so good to have the Tempered Sword right now.
Oh, he has got to be happy about that. No more dealing with Master Sword Silverless, which means Ryrek will probably end up facing the same fate, so we don't have to worry about that problem.
Alright, Fire Snake done.
Number 9. Another small key. Unless we'll have enough keys to get up the mountain. On to the rando room. Call it that because unless you're playing a randomizer, you ain't going in this.
Alright. Here comes my 10 and your 13. Same room. How is this gonna end up?
Yeah, one of us gonna be right or both of us gonna be wrong. Let's see. Number 10. Piece of heart. Number 11. Small key. Number 12. 12! What off? 12. Big key at 12.
We were close, but it wasn't meant to be.
Shout out to Chrono Time, who was the first person to get it right.
Well, considering how we had plenty of guesses for this one, I feel it's only appropriate to award a prize. Chrono Time, you have won some randomizer seeds. All you have to do is go to ALTTPR.com and generate the randomizer seeds of your dreams. You can play in open mode, standard mode, hard item difficulty, hard placement. Make it as easy or as hard or as chaotic as you want. Just go to ALTTPR.com and enjoy. This offer will stay valid until the next major version, not available in Nebraska.
You did that way too.
I've had practice.
Clearly. Anyway, with that, Scruff Ninja Tuna will now be making his way up the ever so lovely gauntlet.
Considering that health, I would consider making a stop at the safety room below, but no. Scruff is just going on.
He's got 3 potions, so he's not too worried. He doesn't. I don't think he's gonna. Now that he's got Tempered Sword, he must feel like, you know what? I can use one of those potions here. I'll be fine.
Also, GFE pulled off Dark Magician strategies, and so is checking out these other 4 chests where there's just munitions.
Yeah, not gonna pay off for him, but he is gonna check over the Ice Armoster area, so we'll see what those 3 chests have.
It is appreciated, Chrono Time.
But Scruff does use the powder on the anti-fairy. He's happy he's got that at least. Now that does also reset the script here for these land molas, so they don't come out in the same places like they normally do. But he's not too worried about that. He takes them out with very little effort. And GFE now has the butter sword, because, you know, it cuts like...
Ironically, we have had Ocarina of Time Randomizer featured on Speed Gaming before. A lot of the head community likes to consider the Kokiri sword the butter sword, or more like a butter knife.
That's a little bit different, I think.
Let's just say we all get hungry for rando, and sometimes we think of different terms for the different quality of weapons.
Oh, when it comes to food-based puns, it's amazing. You should see the Metroid community. Oh, Lord.
You've heard me commentate the end game of Torian before in Super Metroid Link to the Past combo rando before.
Dude, I've adopted it.
There's another for Team Rainbow flavored ice cream then.
Oh yes. No, I've called it a restaurant now. We welcome to the McBrainies. Anyway, back to the race here. Is now Rywek also working his way up Ganon's tower. So New York Ramblers is the only one left, but He needs to go to Death Mountain.
Still, at least Rambler can finish Swamp right now. Oh, there's our 4th bottle. That's kind of convenient.
Only had a potion and not a B-Torp. Now Wyright gets his Tempered Sword, so all of our runners now no longer... Oh, Trolldorm 2 strikes! That is why we call him Trolldorm, ladies and gentlemen, because he can troll you hard. If you get knocked off the platform by Moldorm, not only do you take some damage, especially in this particular version of him, because you fall into the spike pit, but when you come back up, he resets back to full health. Thankfully, a spin and a slash, and down goes the worm.
So what's in the mystery box?
Nothing. The inevitable conclusion is a bust.
Yep. Classic Big 20. Chrono Time, are you sure you wanted that mystery box of 20 rupees? Anyway.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I see what happened. Rambler skipped the fire rod.
Oh.
Now, luckily for him, he doesn't need fire rod because we know that the big key is not on the right side, but oh boy. That's good.
So, yeah, this seed is technically not fire rod required. It's just, it's helpful to have it.
Indeed. Alright, so Scruff now working on Aga 2. Trying to get this last hit. Down goes the wizard. And now it's time for the big pit.
Alright, I just refreshed to make sure that I keep up with the action and I'm not drifting too much. Alright, GFE is taking out Landmola's 2. Just have to keep it up, get through the 2 quad torch rooms, as it's now time to learn some wisdom from Ganon today. What do you got for us?
What's he teaching us here? Start your day with smiling with a delicious whole game breakfast cereal created for your incredible insight.
Yeah, I prefer muffins.
Oh, not me. I'm a cereal man. I'm through and through. Got like 4 bags sitting on top of my fridge right now. I'm not even kidding.
Alright, so right now we are through the first of the 4 phases of Ganon. We just have to watch out for the fire bats. Because when they like to expand, they expand.
And now, what Scruff is doing here is, even though he could just go for regular slashes with Tempered Sword, he's trying to get into the groove of using his spin slashes, because once he gets to the final phase, he's not going to be able to use silvers, so he is going to have to rely on spin slashes. So he wants to make sure he gets into that groove of hitting him just at the right time. Because with phase 4, there's a small window in between teleports where he can use spin slashes on him. So he has to use those.
Technically, I think you could actually swipe with the Tempered Sword, but the window of opportunity is much smaller, like 2 frames compared to 9.
The silvers are in Death Mountain?
That means Spike Cave or Mimic Cave.
Oh, yeah, because we never checked either one of those. And at this point, we never will. Unless Rambler decides to go out there.
Well, who knows? But
this
yeah,
one I don't see it. I think he... Anyway.
Yeah, with Tempered Sword, 12 spin slashes are required. And fortunately, with the red mail, the worst amount of damage we can take is actually still 4 hearts of damage because of Ganon. But we just gotta be careful. We do not want to receive an unexpected hug. Remember, always ask for consent. Ganon does not like to ask for consent. That will do. Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna just has to cross the Bridge of Destiny and lock in the time. Shades, why don't you pay attention to that time as we have just crossed?
I would, but my connection reset earlier, and I don't see it, so you're gonna have to read that one off.
I can report on it. So Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna has placed first amongst our restream, but tied 6th in the actual race with an official SRL time of 1:28:51.
And speaking of Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna joining us here in the call, GG Scruff.
GG.
So how you feeling about that race, my friend?
I cannot believe that I beat these other guys.
Yeah, you made some good calls early on that paid off in the long run as far as our restream runners goes. GFE is the only one that's even right behind you because he's the one on the Ganon fight now. And he was able to get Butter Sword, but obviously that's not going to make that much of a...
Oh man, I was so glad to find Tempered. I can do Master Sword Silverless, but I despise it with a blazing passion.
If I remember correctly, I'm trying to remember where was the other sword upgrade.
I remember.
The fire thingy room, just past the Stealth House room.
No, I mean the other one, the one that you...
Oh, the one I missed.
Yeah,
You're not going to be happy with this one, Scruff. You remember Desert Palace?
Oh no, it was the big chest, wasn't it?
Yup.
Oh god damn it!
You just walked over, you could have had Butter Sword Silverless. But hey, you know what? The difference in damage, at least you had Tempered Sword. At least you didn't have to do Master Sword Silverless. Though we've concluded that at this point, Silvers had to have been in either Spike Cave or Mimic Cave, because those were the only 2 items in Death Mountain that hadn't been checked.
Oh, I was wondering, because I figured Death Mountain probably was going to be Ether Tablet, but I don't know if Death Mountain, classifies as just Light World, or if it also classifies as Dark World.
I believe both right now. But someone who could possibly clarify is GFE12, who just finished with an official SRL time of 1:30:54.
Nicely done. Let's see if we can get him in here.
And Ryrek is just about to join, assuming we can get a good fight against Ganon here.
I swear I gotta wear one of those little BPM monitors just to see how high it gets during these types of seats.
Are they actually accurate? I honestly don't know.
Whew, it was fun though.
Now I'm trying to remember, I think it was you that went straight to Ice Frog Cave, or was that somebody else?
That was GFE.
That was GFE, that's right. Okay, just trying to remember who was who here, because yeah, that was... GFE went straight, literally right after Escape, went straight to Ice Rod Cave and found that Moon Pearl, which... How the hell did he think to go there first?
Oh man, the routing on this was so weird. That's how I felt when I found the Cane of Samaria. Because in the IRC beforehand, I was making jokes with the hash and saying, we're going to have progression on Sick Kid. And then when I found the bottle in library, I was like, okay, as soon as I find the boots, I'm heading straight there so I can grab that bottle, check on Sick Kid. So I found the boots on the pyramid, went over to Catfish, did his thing, said goodbye to the shield. Then I was like, you know what? I'm already here. Let's go ahead and check out Bonk Rocks and King's Tomb. And lo and behold, we got our cane.
Indeed. And it looks like Ryrek's just about... We also now confirmed that it was a hard container on the pedestal, so glad we didn't have to worry about that problem at all. Now we have GFE joining us here in the call right as Ryrek finishes up. GFE, if you give us just a second to make this a little announcement, because Ryrek's about to end those, and this time I actually have the time. So as Ryrek finishes up, he enters the doors and finishes in 10th place with a time of 1 hour, 33 minutes, and 17 seconds. So, GFE, GG.
Honestly, a little worse than I thought I'd feel. I felt like I was doing pretty good, but wow, GG's to Blaine for sure. I I guess I just put off the mountain too long. And GG's to you, Scruffed Ninja Tuna. That's
Thank you. New PB.
Oh wow, congrats! I didn't even get to see that.
I confirm it is a personal best by 4 minutes 47 seconds.
Yep. my
Also,
first
we have
official
Rywek
segment.
joining us here in the call real quick. Rywek, GG.
Thank you. GG's, everybody.
GG.
jeez.
Yeah, I figured with Blaine in the race, no one was going to get first except for him, but I mean, clearing 10 minutes within Blaine is an achievement in itself, you know?
I mean, what was his time? It was 1:20. I'll take it. I'll take it. I mean, I was taking it casually today. Like, I'm pretty happy. Like, oh, like, this is nice and chill. Good time for a chill.
Technically, the time was 1:19:18 for Blaine.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, at least I got within 10 minutes.
I would have. I'm curious to see the restream. I'm wondering if I lost my lead doing Dark Magician strats.
Oh, same here. I actually decided to
you
go ahead and
also-
do left side, but there was a couple of things I'm like, I wonder if this messed me up a bit. I need to go back and watch the restream.
For the record, GFE, I think Mr. Scruff had entered Ganon's tower 2 to 3 minutes ahead of you.
So
Oh,
I
wow.
don't think any kind of routing would have really made a big difference there, because yeah, you had a pretty good distance between each of you.
Just was. Did he also Dark Magician, or did he go full left?
Nah, I went Hope Room and then full left.
Okay. Looking at the finish times, I thought that might have been the difference, but.
Though GFE, I do have
Interesting
to ask
seed for sure.
Indeed, I do have to ask one question, GFE, because I noticed you did something very interesting. Is as soon as you finished up Escape, you went right to Ice Rod Cave, which paid off because it had the Moon Probe. What was your thought process going?
Actually, since a race I was in recently, I think Dazed Cloud was the one who did it. They got flippers and escape, and then decided, hey, I'm just going to jump in this portal, go over to Ice Rod Cave, because really, unless you get boots or loot, there's not a faster way there. And I was kind of hoping, I might pick up Zora money, but either way, it just felt like I wanted to change up my route a little.
That's understandable. I mean, yeah, it makes sense that you saw someone else pull that off and figured it might work for you, and it turned out it did, in a way.
Yeah, in a way, no one's going to miss that Moon Pearl, but it was still nice to have. The only thing that I regret doing in the seed, even though I kind of did it for chat, was the first chest of swamp play that I did.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Both you and both GFE and Scruff did that, from what I saw.
Yeah, I was like, let's check that first chest just to be sure.
I mean,
To
why
be
not,
fair-
right?
To be fair, you guys were just coming off purple chest, and it's right there. You figure, what the
Right?
worst you could do is you waste maybe a minute or two at most. And if it ends up being something that helps you progress further into it, you're like, well, that worked out good. And I've seen that happen, so wasn't the worst call you could have made.
My favorite part about Swamp, at least, was I checked 3 chests, not counting Argus, of course, and I got all 3 dungeon items.
Same here. That was
that lineup
beautiful.
was funny.
Yeah, I can't believe the setup on most of these dungeons. It was so nice if you just speed ran through everything. Like, I skipped the big chest in Thieves Town, I skipped the vanilla big key chest in Eastern, and practically skipped everything in Desert. Unfortunately, I routed wrong in Misery Mire, so I full cleared that darn near.
I didn't make those skips. I came back to Thieves Town when I had Hammer, and I didn't want to risk the skip. I thought about it, but it wasn't worth it at that point to me. But it always feels good when those skips actually don't hurt you.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a huge
I've
gamble.
definitely made these before.
Now, I'm super surprised Rambler didn't pick up that fire rod. Did he just nope right out of Super Bunny Cave after the hook
Oh
shot?
wow. Someone
Yeah,
skipped
he
that.
did. It was exactly what he did.
I nearly
Oh,
did the
goodness.
same, actually. I opened up
We
the
saw
damn
that!
dialogue box and like, I'll open this in case it's a sword. Oh, hey, fire rod.
Yeah, we saw
I was
you
like,
do
I'll
that.
open, maybe it's silver.
We were about
The
to call you
last-
out on that. We're like, no!
Yep.
The last thing I expected to find was fire rod. I was convinced it was in GT.
The same.
Well, good news, we didn't need Fire Rod to finish the seed.
Well, that's good news for some people. I was hoping you did, at least logically
Yeah.
for GT.
I've been practicing that stupid bomb jump for days.
I was actually hoping for Master Sword Silverless Ganon. No, there had to be more swords.
Yeah, I got butter.
Yeah, I lucked out and got that last tempered there, but apparently, since I skipped the Desert Big Chest, that was the easy sword that I missed.
Hmm.
Yep.
Indeed. Not to interrupt, but ladies and gentlemen, New York Rambler has taken 15th place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 39 minutes, and 46 seconds.
This was definitely a fun race to watch.
Indeed, indeed. And I think I see Rambler joining us here. Indeed, here's New York Rambler joining us in the call. Rambler, GG.
G.
GG's, Rambler.
GG.
What did I do? How
What
did someone
happened?
119 this? I guess maybe right after boots. I,
Yeah,
should've
that-
gone
I
pod.
was wondering. the
Maybe
same.
that's what the play was.
I think what actually threw you off is the fact that everyone else went to pod pretty early, so they found the hammer pretty quick, and that kind of led to everything else. Whereas you kind of put off pod for a while.
Yeah, once I found the boots, I decided to check boot spots first. And that did open up a lot of things. That led to flute, and that just sent me on a path wrong path. Because I should have got hammer first, and would have been a lot easier.
By the way, I got to mention, you know when you got the hook shot and you noped out of there and didn't bother checking that second chest?
That second test was
You know,
the silvers, weren't they?
No, fire rod.
Oh, well, good thing we didn't need it.
Right?
Yeah, that's true. No, actually, we have an idea of where the silvers are. There's 2 possible locations based on our tracker.
Well, set Death Mountain, and I
Basically-
skipped all Death Mountain, so it could be anywhere for me.
Well, yeah, but for everyone else, based on what everyone else checked, it had to be either Spike Cave or Mimic Cave.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because
I'm
those are the
fine
only
with
2
that.
places nobody checked.
Yeah, I have a feeling nobody's gonna get silvers if it's Mimic Cave.
Mimic
Yeah,
Cave,
it's
nobody
for
touched.
sure no one's getting those.
Yeah,
Spike Cave,
it's-
Spike Cave, maybe if you routed a certain way, like if you went up to the mountain before you got flute somehow, like you're like, oh, let's logic break Death Mountain instead of after getting hammer, and that happens. Maybe then you'll get silver arrows. That's probably the only way I can feasibly think about that happening.
Oh,
Wait.
hold on. I'm receiving a special report. According to some folks in chat, it was Mimic Cave because Spike Cave is seen by the hint system as Dark World.
Oh, Jesus.
So
no,
wait,
it's gotta
you
be the
guys
other way
found the
around.
book?
Oh yeah, the book
Yeah.
was where's the book? Book was
Checkerboard.
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 Oh, yeah.
Ah, of course.
And Ether Tablet was already covered, as well as Bombos Tablet.
Yeah, I checked both of those because I had book pretty early because I had right after I got boots, I immediately got the mushroom, which led to the flute. So I was doing pretty much everything you guys are doing, but without the hammer.
Yeah. Also, we can't confirm their Rambler since you haven't seen it yet. Is that pedestal heart container?
I mean, I knew Ped was dead once I saw what the pendants were.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty.
It's funny because when I saw the pendants, I was like, "Whoa, those 3! I don't need fire rod." And then I was like, "Okay, so fire rod's gonna be early." And sure enough, then it's the end of the sea. There's no fire rod. It actually happened.
I was so happy to see that lamp up on Spec Rock. I ended up
So,
doing...
all right, so this is another place where I lost time. Right after I got the flute, the first thing I did was go to Mire instead of to Death Mountain. So I tried
Ooh.
doing Mire without a fire source. And I almost died in the basement, so I bailed and went up, and then I saw Tempered Sword and Lamp, and I felt really stupid.
I avoided the mire dip at least. I was between doing the mire area checks and clearing out desert or going up the mountain, and I made the wrong decision there. But I didn't feel too bad. I was hoping I wouldn't have to clear out the mountain. I might get lucky, get my fire source down there.
Yeah, I kind of blame myself for not checking the mushroom earlier. Once I found the hook shot, I decided, let's go do swamp. And like I was go moding for the flute. And yeah, I had to think, yeah, of course go swamp. Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, so you did
Makes
actually
sense at the
logic break the
time.
mountain.
Yeah, I logic broke the mountain with finding the lamp. My go mode then afterwards, after finding the hook shot, was okay. Well, I know that the flute is not on the mountain. I'm gonna go do some stuff in dungeons on the bottom. So I did swamp. I did left side first, just in case. And like, nope.
Oofa.
Yeah. Well, I full cleared all of Ice Palace. Luckily, the first 3 chests were
Ooh.
items.
Nice.
Yeah, he was the only one. You were the only one that did Ice Palace, man.
Basically,
Everyone else
it came down to
pretty
Ice or Pod. I figured everyone else would go to Pod. I go to Ice. If I'm right, I'm probably winning the seed.
much-
No, that's not true.
That's the truth.
Wayne was in this race. No matter what, you weren't winning the seed.
Yeah.
Very true, yes. Wayne could have last location to everything and still would have beat me, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I
I did
think
also
that's-
last location Moon Pearl. That was true.
Oh, that sucks.
What are the odds
Yeah,
that one item that's so far away is going to have it?
Right?
It's randomizer.
I
You
nearly
always
burnt.
expect that.
Like 1 out of
nearly
80
first
something.
location Moon Pearl.
I never learned.
Yeah, apparently GFE like bolted straight out of Escape right to Ice Rod Cave immediately.
He did.
I
He
did
did. We
lost-
witnessed this.
I did Lost Woods, then I jumped in the whirlpool there and came out at Ice Rod.
That is some
He did
galaxy
flipper
brain
checks.
stuff right there.
Paid off considering that's what the Moon
Yeah,
Pearl
that's
was.
true.
But my God, we were not ready for that.
Only thing that made me sad was that shovel leading to Mitts, because I south routed CAC because of the way I routed, and then I had to go back with the shovel.
I
Man.
honestly may have to consider that ice rod routing if I do get the flippers that early, because it's definitely one convenient way of getting there.
I'll
But
say.
yeah. Whew, any final thoughts from any of you here?
Boots were too far in the seed. Needed to be earlier.
I think I might. Was I the first one to find the boots? Because I went there pretty early.
No, I think that was Scruff because he was the first one in the dark world and went up to the pyramid.
Okay,
Mhm.
yeah. But I mean, I did like the whole loop, and then I figured not many people might go to Pyramid because it's like so far out of the way. You have to jump in the water and go around. But when I found the boots there, I was like, all right, that's pretty good. And yeah. Then I made a left turn instead of going right, and then, you know.
I'm just glad I didn't galaxy fart.
Well, regardless,
Guys.
GG to all 4 of you guys. Fantastic race.
Just real quick, gonna thank you guys for the commentary as always. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate our trackers. Looks like they're already out for now, but always appreciate everything everyone puts into this. And GG's to the rest of the runners. It was a interesting seed.
GG.
Definitely GG's.
Indeed, indeed. And of course, if you guys enjoyed our 4 featured runners here tonight, make sure you give them a follow on Twitch, GFE12, Rywick, New York Rambler, and Mr. Scruff Ninja Tune, to make sure you give them a follow. Of course, shout outs to our trackers, Drake Tempest, Billy Mills, 1111, or 111, I should say, and Cataclysm. And of course, myself and my co-commentator, Wolfman 2000. Wolfman, always a pleasure working with you, my friend.
Indeed. Just some final announcements before we need to wrap up. As far as tonight's schedule goes, there is going to be a late night Zelda 1, Metroid 1 combo rando on Speed Gaming 2. And I believe a Crystallis randomizer is going on right now on the main Speed Gaming channel. As far as what to look forward to tomorrow, we still have the Super Mario Bros. 3 randomizer tournament going on. We have the Link to the Past Randomizer 2019 tournament still going on. We still have Super Mario Sunshine 2v2 Lockout Bingo. We still have Super Mario World No Cape No Star World. we have what's probably going to be the Shades' most popular tournament, Goose Game Any % Glitchless.
No, do not expect me to do commentary for that. Not my. I prefer randomizers, thank you. But I might look into that. But nonetheless, nonetheless, make sure you guys follow all of our channels, Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2 through 6, for all of those and much, much more. You don't want to miss out on any of that. But in the meantime, we want to thank you guys for joining us as always here. On behalf of everyone here at the Speed Gaming family, my name is The Shades, and we will see you guys next time. Rock on!